Hello and welcome to ARK, the complete series. Yes, I know it's a sense of deja vu going on here, and that is true. It's not actually that long ago that I actually did an actual video on the Red Orbital Supply Drop, how to solo one of these things. But we're back to doing it again because I want to try something slightly different this time, because I'm thinking, well, I'm getting too much of an advantage if I use the S Plus actual, Tek Shield that you get. Because I find these shields, they're extremely useful when you're on your own, going up against these orbital supply drops. It's too much of an advantage not to use them. But the S Plus one seems to give you I think it gives you a really unfair advantage compared to the vanilla one. Because I was scratching my head, I was trying to think, well, why is it when I was using the vanilla one, it just seemed so much harder? Because, in a previous playthrough I used the S Plus one. Now, as somebody pointed out, when you use the S Plus one, it's a case of, well, it literally activates immediately. If, on the other hand, you use the vanilla one, you've got to wait something like 5 minutes. But another thing I'd noticed with the S Plus one was that, well, when I did it in a previous playthrough, I never had a problem. It pretty much, right through from start to finish, the actual shield stayed up all of the time, whereas with the vanilla version, it just kept falling apart and I had to keep replacing it practically every round. So I've been running some tests, and I do think this S Plus one just gives you way too much of an advantage. It's not just a case of it actually activates much quicker. It's also a case that it's self-healing. With the vanilla one, you've actually got to fix it if something goes wrong when it starts taking damage. Whereas with this S Plus one, no, not a problem. So, if you've seen the previous video, you'll know that it took 5 minutes for this thing to basically power on. I'm actually going to pick this up and move it slightly further away, actually, because otherwise the trouble is at the end when that thing blows up. It'll take the actual shield with it. And these things are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Right, so that's more than enough, I think. We used up quite a bit of actual element, I must admit. Right, let's put that up to... change the shield radius to maximum. So you can see straight up I've got that advantage of the fact that this thing's starting up straight away. So it's a bit of an unfair advantage, I must admit, but not that much. If you've watched that previous video I did, yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest, because once we got through like the first round, it was up and that was it, we were done. So it's a case of, what other benefits am I getting? Well, the one thing, I'm getting this advantage in the fact that generator, which is another interesting feature I found, is that it heals itself. Whereas the vanilla version doesn't. You've actually got to manually repair it with your own, resources, basically. And it is pretty expensive, I must admit. The other thing is that when that shield gets destroyed, the actual generator itself doesn't get destroyed if it's the actual S Plus version. If it's the vanilla version, if the shield gets destroyed, actually I'm just going to put these aggressive. With the S Plus version, if the shield gets destroyed, it doesn't really matter. The generator itself stays intact. Whereas with the vanilla version, if the actual shield gets destroyed, it takes the actual generator out with it. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Now, you might actually be wondering, there's a slight difference this time round as well. I've actually got more Gigas, and it's a case of the last Gigas that I had, they actually bought the farm, unfortunately. I lost Greg to when I was doing a Red Orbital Supply run. I was actually trying to take out a Red Orbital Supply Drop, and I lost him. And then I decided to try a purple one, and I lost them all 5 of them that were left. We actually did manage to get to the round 7. And that was with 5 Gigas. Not as good as these ones. These ones are slightly better. These ones are the result of a bit of breeding that I've been doing. where I managed to get 10 actual levels out of these for mutation. So that's a bit better. Nothing particularly amazing. They've got a bit more experience as well. The last Gigas had about 274. That's about how much they got to on their levels. So these ones start with an advantage of an extra 10 levels, but they should be able to do a heck of a lot more damage. And I'm bunching them all together because the one thing I learned from this purple one was that Struth, they really go down quickly. So I'm finding it's better just to bunch the lot of them together, to be honest. Right, I suppose, well, let's go and take that Pteranodon. Now, the other thing I noticed as well I was doing this purple one, it's as if most of these creatures, I mean, I'm not seeing any sort of like damage against the shield while I'm doing the S Plus for some strange reason. I mean, I had like 450 plus level, it was the Wyverns they were basically just more or less bouncing off the actual S Plus shield. Whereas I'm pretty sure when I had the vanilla shield and I was doing a Red Orbital Supply Drop, they were actually doing damage, and I could see the actual, you know, the numbers floating up for the damage that was being done. Whereas with these, it's as if they just seem to like bounce off the actual shield. I mean, to be fair, the shield did take quite a lot of damage. I mean, it was down to about 13,000 health, I think, by the time I got to like level 7. And that's as far as I got. The trouble was, I couldn't, I just couldn't finish it. I mean, oh, hang on. Oh, you're following somebody. Stop. Yeah, I was down to about 3. I started with 5 of them, and I lost 2 of them. They just got wiped pretty quickly, I'd say, like halfway through. And then I was down to literally the last 3, and we just about held out to round 7. And I was able to stop the OSD waves, but the trouble is you've got to then clear out all of those, because when I actually stopped it, everything just went pear-shaped, and everything just suddenly piled in, and oh yeah, that was not pretty. I had to watch all of my Gigas go, so yeah, that was a bit of a shame because I had them for quite a while. Anyway, what I meant to do with you is disable your harvest settings, otherwise this is going to get a bit silly. Not really caring about that garbage. Right, so where are we up to then? So let's have a look at this. Oh, we're up to another round already. Oh, that's cool. It's up to 2 of 5. What's the strength on that thing left? If I can, where's it gone? There. So it's at 25,000. So that's at full health. Oh no. Oh, we're up to Wyverns now. Now, it was quite interesting when I was up against the purple ones, because these things I ended up having to shoot them down with a gun. Now these are only level, he says only, like level 200 plus. The ones on the purple, they were like 450 plus. So that was just like nuts, and we were up against like corrupted Rexes. It felt like actual like alphas. It was getting nuts. But they were basically just floating around the top, they weren't going anywhere. So I just can't help but feel it, most of them are just bouncing. I mean, I'll let these ones slide just for the curiosity, because it seems as if they're just bouncing. They're not even trying to attack the actual shield. Whereas with the vanilla version, I was seriously watching a lot of damage being done to the shields. That's why, as I say, I mean, I think I was at the point where I was thinking maybe I'm going to have to like replace them like one every round. Now, this is the other weird thing I find. Even though those Gigas are on aggressive, it's like, yeah, whatever. They seem to like lose interest after a while. So I've no idea what these things are up to. But I've got a lot more of them, so it should be a lot better this time around. Another thing I've noticed, which I'd never seen before in the previous playthrough when Extinction came out, are those little beasties there. They are corrupted Dimorphodons, and I've never seen them before. Honestly, I don't ever remember seeing those until now. Right, you lot, you need to come back here. Come here. Come on. I mean, I'm tempted to have the entire like hazard suit on, but the trouble is I need the actual tech boots, otherwise I'll have some serious damage done to me when I jump off the Giga. So right, so that's... I have no idea where most of these go. I should really get one of those sort of like trackers, because you can get tracking devices and put them on your pets. But oh, you're out of huff and puff. Right, well, tell you what, you stay there. I won't grab somebody else for a change. Actually, that's a thought. Maybe if I grabbed somebody else, maybe they're not on aggressive. Let me just check. Yeah, you're on aggressive. Alright, fair enough. I haven't given them any detailed names really, because it's a case of, given what happened to the last bunch, I'm not going to get too sentimental on this lot. It's like, yeah, especially when we go up on a purple run. Because as I say, I almost pulled it off with just 5 gigas. If it's, yeah, if we could have just cleared that last wave, that would have got all the plan. But anyway, I'm going to have to take these down. You'll notice, another thing you might notice that's different is that I'm not trying to take advantage of the environment, for example, here. Because it doesn't really matter. If things are just bouncing off the shield, it's like, whatever. So if you ever watch YouTubers, including myself, who are doing this using the S Plus shield, as far as I'm concerned, it's just way too much of an advantage. I mean, I'll have a look on the actual shields in a minute, once I take this little beastie down. But I haven't got the Velonosaurs. I'm not bothered about using the environment to my advantage to try to make it more difficult for things to get in, because I think that shield's pretty much just keeping everything out anyway. The only one thing I've noticed though is when you do the purple one, the rock drakes are able to get through. Eventually they seem to be too fast or something. I was a bit concerned that the actual let's see, what's that up to? It's a bit difficult to tell. So that it is taking some damage, you can see. But you can see there it says regen in roughly 6.5 minutes. So it does regenerate itself after quite a bit of time, but it lasts a heck of a long time. Anyway, so we're on wave 2 of 5 with 1 hostile out there somewhere. Yeah, so that was one thing, because I had... oh, that's where the little beastie is. Another thing I noticed was the... I think it was the Reapers. You get Reapers in that round as well. And they didn't seem particularly... well, I honestly thought they would literally bury themselves under and get past the shield, but interestingly enough they didn't. It was really just the actual rock drakes. Now the reason I'm trying to get rid of this little thing here is because I had problems the last time I did an orbital supply... oops, true. Last time I did an orbital supply drop, I actually disabled Tek Shield afterwards, and I had about 3 or 4 of those things started giving me a lot of grief because they actually started attacking the actual shield generator itself. So like the shield was completely down, and the OSD, that was it. So well, I said they were attacking the actual shield generator. They weren't attacking the orbital supply drop. So obviously I'm trying to like pick up my bits and pieces because I'd ejected everything. And there was about 3 or 4 of these corrupted Dimorphodons just suddenly appear out of nowhere. And like I say, that's the first time I've ever seen them. It's a pain, I can't reach them from here. The Wyverns, seem to get mixed results with the Wyverns. Sometimes the Wyverns will start attacking me. On the other hand, sometimes they're just like that Pteranodon there, it's just flying away and then it comes back again. So they're obviously targeting something. But I'm not really seeing that much damage against the shield, because one other thing I noticed was early on I was seeing sort of floating damage against the actual orbital supply drop. And that seems to be whenever there's damage on the actual orbital supply drop shield, not the actual orbital supply drop itself. That does show up. So it's a bit confusing, I must admit. I thought there was something was attacking the shield from underneath, but it's not. It's just the it was just damage against the shield. Ooh, level 216. That's interesting. That we're not doing that much damage. I mean, I've got quite a lot of shells here. Yeah, I'm not doing much damage against it. contrast to like a pteranodon, for example. So let's see how many we've got here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One's over there. So there's another one wandered off somewhere. Oh, there they are. They're both over. They're both over here. This is the trouble with having too many of them. It's having to keep an eye on them. But I've got to the point now where I'd rather keep them all just bunched together. Come on. Go and park yourself over here. I think I'm probably going to have to grab that one. Yeah, I think I'll have to grab that one. What are you doing over there? Oh, now you decide to show up. Oh well, fair enough. Gotta love dinosaurs. Right. Come on. The other weird thing I noticed actually while I was doing the purple drop is, I mean, it tells you when you're doing this, there's so many, you know, hostiles out there still around. And yet it was weird where I would sometimes have some of these, like, you know, corrupted drakes were still like hanging around on top of the shield for some strange reason, yet the OSD had kind of like moved on. And it was like, yeah, we're finished, we've done with that one. Right, that's that one out of the way. I suppose I could get the Pteranodon, the Bolonosaurs out. That's one thing I definitely didn't want to test them against the purple one. Out of curiosity, let's see where we're up to anyway. Are you on? What do you want? You're on attack my target. Oh, that's fair enough. So we're down to about. See, there's hardly any like health being lost in this. It's going down. You can see it is being attacked. So it is going down, so it's not as good as I thought, but according to this, there's only one hostile out there, and yet we've got these little annoying Dimorphodons still up there somewhere. At least there's one of them. Right, where is the little beastie gone? The drakes, I must admit, are the harder ones to budge, because they start moving around all over the place. I'm gonna have to get there. See there, so there's two of them still up there, but we're now on to the next wave. So I'm not sure what it is about those things. I honestly, I don't know. It's very strange. Oh, where the heck did you come from? I've just noticed there's an enraged tribe. Nowhere near as bad as these enraged Rexes I was up against. I mean, they look more like Alpha Rexes, but they were doing a heck of a lot of damage. And another thing I'll point out that I found was that if you've got like a dino, don't trust that it's going to be safe inside the shield, because I had one actually right next to the Orbital Supply Drop. And even though technically nothing got inside, I had a dino that was in there and it got killed. Somehow, it's kind of weird because you see these, sometimes they kind of like glitch through, if you will. They're kind of like rubber band where they'll get so far inside and then all of a sudden they'll rubber band back out again. So somehow that counted as a genuine hit against my dino that was inside of the shield, if you will. So yeah, that was a bit suspicious to say the least. But these, obviously, these things are, I mean, they're only like level 2. Yeah, again, I'm saying they're only like level 200 or so. But they're a lot easier to deal with than the 400, 450 plus ones that I was up against on the purple one. But I think if you use the S Plus shield, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier. I mean, it gives you an unfair advantage. I mean, if you're in a group, so if there's several of you, then I mean, to be honest, this should be a whole lot easier for you anyway. But if you're on your own, you might be prepared to just bend the rules a bit, to be honest, because it can be really difficult to try and pull this off when it's just you. You're going to run out of steam in a minute. Nope, you can't get up the hill. Now, but these drakes are annoying because they keep flying up and flying back, and by the time I get over to the other side, they've changed their mind as to where they want to be. And you need a serious amount of shotguns. If you don't have a flyer, you'll need a serious amount of shotgun shells to take those higher level ones down. Right. I think there was a pteranodon around the corner here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So it's just flying around and flying back. So while that's doing that, I'll go and grab this one. Because like I say, I want to bunch them all up together, because that was one of the things I learned early on when I tried the last red drop, was that I had one of them, he was left on his own, so he wasn't benefiting from any of the it's like they get a bonus when you've got them, you get a mate boost when you've got the males and the females together. So I've deliberately sort of bred a lot of males and females. Yeah, you decided to join us now, have you? So... Right, so they're all there. Right, let's go and terrorise that pteranodon, assuming it's still around here somewhere. I wonder if I can reach it from here, maybe. Yes. Right, that's that one out of the way. Oh no, that's interesting. Oh, that's a pteranodon's died in there. Oh, now that just could be the ones that are bouncing off the top. Yes, there's still two of those little dimorphodons out there. Is that what's... So, I mean, it's interesting because I'm up to like 4 or 5. And I'm still on the original S Tek Shield. It's like I say, I think this gives you way too much of an advantage. I mean, if you're curious as to know why I'm doing it again, it's the fact I could really do with some decent blueprints for the mech, because of that last run with the actual the Ice Titan. That was just taking forever. I mean, I can take the first 2 nodes out and just pull it back to the center. Doesn't matter how much damage I do. If you can pull it back to the center, you'll get your you'll get all of that health back. But it took me well, just over 2 hours in total, and I'm just using the very basic level 51 mech, and I want better mechs. So this is Orbital Supply Drop number 4, the red one anyway, that I'm on to, and I'm still trying to get an actual mech blueprint. Anything will be better than a level 51. But the trouble is that they count as the rare. I think you only get like 1 or 2 items of the very rare. So it wasn't rare, it's very rare. So I'm getting quite a lot of chest pieces. I'm just not getting any mech blueprints, and that's what I really want. So fingers crossed I'll get one this time round. Otherwise it's just a case of I'm just gonna have to do a rinse and repeat. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I think I'm getting an unfair advantage by using this S Plus mod. That's the only thing, because when I did it with the vanilla version, even though I think I was over there somewhere, and I was using the environment to my advantage, where there was only so many choke points where these things could get in, I had to go through way more of these vanilla shields than I am with the S Plus one. Fubar, I haven't brought my tech gear. I suppose I can get Aussie. I'm just reluctant to pop him out, because if I pop him out there and leave him in there, he's probably toast. Because like I say, things can somehow glitch inside and then they'll rubber band back out, and it gives them an opportunity to actually hit. But I've got to be very mindful of those things, because as I say, this is the first time I've actually noticed them. I never noticed them on the original gameplay. And it's a case of, yeah, if I don't clear them out, the problem is they're going to come back and cause me grief later on, because then I'll take that shield down. Because one of the problems I found is when I eject the items out of that orbital supply drop, what happens is you've got a very limited time, and then the orbital supply drop disappears. When it does that, it actually generates damage, and it'll actually blow up your shield generator, even when it has like 25,000k health, I was finding I was losing the entire shield generator. So I've got to I've actually got to at least minimize the radius on that thing. Right, let's see if we can get Ozzy out. Actually, what the heck? Let's get Big Red out. We'll get the big guns out for a change, but I'll have to put her back into a cryopod after, because completely missed. Because I say that there's always the risk that something will still get in. I mean, if it's like one of those enraged traits, for example, they can do a lot of damage. The one thing I don't think I can do damage to the shield myself. I can do damage to the orbital supply drop. I don't think I can do damage to my own shield. Ah, there you go. Now I'm starting to see damage. Well, that might be just against the Big Red, to be honest. But they're obviously fixated on that Red OSD, and they're not even attempting, it seems like, to attack the shield, which is a bit weird, I find. Yep, still one out there. Well, we've still got the battle music. So there's one still out there, There's something out there somewhere. But it may not necessarily be one of those dimorphodons, Thomas. Is that what I saw? No? No? Right, well, I'll pop her back into a cryopod. I just have to bear in mind that timer. So the last thing I want is to pop her back out, or anybody for that matter, and end up with cryo sickness. Because I've almost lost a Giga once to that, where I've popped a Giga out. Something started taking chunks out of it, and there was hardly anything left of the Giga after that. I mean, to be fair, these things, they don't have that much health, because I've just bred them up. I've got 10 mutations in melee. I haven't finished the actual health line yet, although I don't think I might actually do that, because I might just try using the Titans, to be honest. Anyway, so go. Yep, so all of our Gigas are still here. So somewhere out there is another hostile. And I don't know where it is or what it is, but it's out there somewhere. Cool. Well, wherever it was, whatever it was, it's gone. So we're on to the last wave by the looks of it. You can see it's almost ready to finish. And there you go. We've got a... What do you know? We've got a Wyvern outside wanting to come in. Dude, now is not a good time for a bathroom break. Yeah, these are so much easier to take down than level 450s, that's for certain. I didn't realise, I mean, I thought I would try it out just for giggles. I thought, oh, I wonder how we'll do against on a red orbital supply drop, on a purple one rather. Because I was really struggling to find any red ones. And I was surprised it was actually going extremely well when I started using this plus shield. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, there's something wrong here. This is giving me way too much of an advantage. So that's why I've decided, oh well, I'll try it with a red one just out of curiosity, because it'll give us a direct comparison of the last video. And well, what is it with you lot? Why do you always have to bunch up again? Actually, let's give you some more. Let's dump it into your mouth. Yes, I know. Everybody likes to get excited now and again. It's weird, all those things are just like kind of like queuing up. It's like they want to get in, but they can't, which is a good thing, really. Anyway, there's an enraged trait. That's right, you lot, take it out. I must admit, we're doing better because these have got the extra 10 mutations. They're hitting a heck of a lot better than the last set I had. But this is what gets me. I mean, these things, they're not even the slightest bit phased. I mean, you've got... Now they're deciding to get excited. I mean, they're all on aggressive, so I think it's to do with the range that you've got. You've got a very short aggro range, and you can change it for the targeting range. The trouble is, those sort of settings, what I'm doing is I'm trying to save myself time, so I'm using the actual transmitter. Doesn't matter whether it's the S Plus transmitter or the vanilla version. It's an extremely good way of transporting stuff along. If I take that, pop that out, I can get these Gigas out of there a heck of a lot quicker than if I brought them out, you know, using cryopods, for example. Oh, there's another Dimorphodon up there. I do not like them things. They're really annoying because they're so small. Oh, there's two of them now. But it's a heck of a lot better because what I found in the past is if I pop them out of cryopods, it just takes forever to do it. And usually by the time I actually get just one or two of them out, then the actual, you know, the orbital supply drop actually starts. So I usually run out of time too quick, whereas if I use the actual transmitter, it means I can get a much bigger army ready. So there's 3 hostiles out there, so I think that'll be the Pteranodon that's up there, plus the 2 Dimorphodons, but there's no guarantee that there's more of these little Dimorphodons will come back. At least that's what I found. Seriously? Right, let's see if we can take them out with a shotgun then. Oh, what the heck, let's get Big Red back out again. Have a bit of fun. Right. What are you lot doing? Why are you going after... Oh, fair enough. that's the thing, I mean, when they're on... Most of them are on aggressive. That one I was on attack by a target, and that's the thing when dinosaurs are on aggressive, it triggers the others to start attacking as well. It's like if you've got any dinosaurs that are on neutral, if something is on aggressive and starts attacking something, then that dinosaur that's on neutral will join in. It seems to be the case with if it's on attack by a target there, I notice. Normally I put my own one on passive, I must admit, because that way it doesn't run off. Man, these things are seriously hard to hit with a weapon. Or a wyvern if you prefer. Does that mean different ways of pronouncing that depending on which part of the world you're from, it seems? Right, let's see if we can get these. So there's 2 of them still out there. So, right, so that's one of them. Oh, you've leveled up. Whoop-de-doo. My only concern is I'll get this finished, and I think there's a certain time you've got left to get it finished by. You know, once you've actually... Oh man, why do you have to move? I think you've only got a certain amount of time to eject the actual core before it disappear or something. I've never tried that. I've always just panicked and just thought, oh, I better eject them now. Right, see, this is just nuts, this. The only reason I'm doing it is just it's taking me ages to try and hit it with a blooming shotgun as well. I think I've got about 2 pellets that managed to hit it. Jeez Louise, I'm going to be here till Christmas. It's funny how they don't actually come after me though. You'd think like if something's attacking it, it would like suddenly decide, oh, I better defend myself. But don't. It's like, no, whatever. Right. Whoa, that's a cool looking colour, that. At least it looks cool from the outside here. What colour's that? Bit of bright red and orange. I'm just holding back a bit because of the last time I took the shield down, I ended up with a bunch of Dimorphodons suddenly turned up. Near the corrupted ones, which I've never seen until this particular playthrough. Right, let's drop that to minimum. Now hopefully those annoying beasties won't suddenly show up like they did last time. May as well get Big Red because I need to. Anything I get, I'm gonna have to put it on her. And I really don't know why they give you all this garbage. Because there's nothing you can do with it. Oh, what was that weird noise? It's a pity you can't throw things, because I want to throw things like that away, because I don't want them. I'd love to be able to throw them all the way over there somewhere. Like, well out of the way. I mean... Oh. Alright, let's dump... Oh! Exciting news! We've got a level 118. We've actually got one. Oh, that has just made my day. That has just made my day. So we have actually got one. Because before, the last Red Orbital Supply Drops I was doing, I was nearly always getting the Tek chest piece. Tek gauntlets. So I've actually got. I'll head back to base to show you because I've actually got one which is like 700 plus armor class, which is just crazy. So you can only craft that once. That sucks. But it should be a lot better than the normal mech. So let's out of curiosity, if we do a search for a mech. So I thought, yeah, that's level 51. So 67, 66. So that's just a bunch of 67s versus. That's much better. 4,000 metal ingots. Yeah, that's doable. That's doable. I mean, I don't. That's a thought, actually. If there is actually anything of interest there, I might actually want to take it back. Right, tell you what. You grab all this stuff, as ever. I think I might have a look and see if there's any metal ingots among here. Ooh, there's some. 206, not bad. I mean, to be honest, I've actually got tons of metal anyway, because the actual the gachas, they do quite a lot. Right, so the problem I've got now is I can't pick this thing back up again. I'm trying to remember what I did last time to get this thing back again. So you say it's got like another 7 minutes 20 odd before it'll like regen. As far as I remember, I can't pick it up so long as it's damaged, and I can't repair it. It doesn't give me an option to repair it. So that's a bit of a challenge. So I think I'm just going to pause things there and see if I can figure out how I can get this thing back again. Then I'll bring you back. Right then, so we're now back at base. This is the actual Tek chest piece I was talking about, because I've got two. I mean, I have picked up more of them from the runs that I've been doing. And it's just a case of eventually I'll manage to get an actual blueprint for the mech, because as far as I recall, there's either very, very rare or rare. You'll probably get either one of these two. And for me, it's pretty much most of the stuff I've been getting is the Tek armor. I mean, it's good stuff, I must admit. I mean, I still don't understand why some items are limited on how many times you can craft them. Like, for example, the boots, the helmet, the chest piece. You're limited to 3 crafts out of that blueprint, and that's it. That's the blueprint finished. Whereas things like the gloves, they're unlimited. The pants, it's unlimited. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But interesting stuff, I must admit, because I mean, I just got those gloves, and they've got much better like armor. I mean, we're going up by about almost 100, and yet the resource requirements aren't that much. Whereas in comparison, I've had these two for a while, and I've noticed like for an extra 100 armor, you're getting like a demand for almost double the amount of resources. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, these ones, I mean, there's not that much in terms of the armor class between these two boots, but this one, the durability is practically half of these ones. So it's a bit of a trade-off between, for whatever reason, between the actual armor class you're going to get versus the durability between these two. So it's always a choice, you know, as to what you get. But yeah, definitely pleased I eventually got that mech. There are other things I've got. I mean, I got some like hazard suits, uh, blueprints. I also got an Ascendant riot gear blueprint for some boots. I've just dumped those into the fabricator. Other stuff, things like the flak armor, um, riot gear that's mastercraft and so on. I've just put it in the grind rail, just destroy all those because they're no use to me now. Not much point keeping them, and I'm going to need quite a lot of resources to be able to build things like that mech. Just a bit of a pain, I must admit, that you can only craft it once. I didn't realise, I don't remember these things being limited. Although, to be fair, I know when I did the Alpha King Titan in the original playthrough of Extinction, all I did is I took 4 of the level 51 mechs to create the actual Mega Mech. So I think that's more useful for when we're going to be going up against Titans, because yeah, I can take out the first 2 nodes pretty easily, and then as long as the Titan goes back to the center, it'll get its health back. So those 2 first nodes will go quickly. But I need something to do a lot more damage so I can take on that 3rd node, take it out a lot quicker. If it takes me half an hour to take out the other 2, the first 2, and then maybe 2 to take out the final node, I mean that's just crazy. So because it's got a lot more damage, hopefully when we get round to doing the Titans again, it'll go a lot more quicker when I've got the actual gun. I'll be able to do more damage, which shouldn't cost me as much element either, because I had to burn through a lot of element when I was just going up against the actual Ice Titan, for example, with just the basic mech. So it'll be interesting to see how that compares, but I'm going to have to be extra careful with that thing, I can tell, because it's a one-off. It's a one-off craft. Once I've built it, I'm finished. I don't know if it gets destroyed, you'll get it back again, because I know you do with the with these enforcers, you get them back. I mean, I've got 2 of these. That one I haven't touched. That one was originally a mastercraft, and it's since become an ascendant somewhere. I don't know, it got killed, and somehow it turned into an ascendant actual blueprint, which I still find a bit weird. I haven't rebuilt it yet, but I should. But be interesting to see if the mech, if that gets destroyed, whether I'll be able to get its blueprint or not. Because up to now, I mean, in the original Extinction, I never really bothered much with that. I just went with normal mechs, whereas this time round, because it took so long to get the Ice Titan, I've decided I really wanted a decent mech. But one thing I did notice, I must admit, is this thing is just OP. I've got to admit that I didn't realise that when I originally played Extinction, because I'd just been using S Plus for ages, and I just played with that thinking they were pretty much the same. But it's a case of, it does give you a significant advantage as far as I can tell now, because when I compare this video playback to the last one I did using the vanilla shields, there was a lot of floating damage coming up. When Wyverns were attacking, they were actually attacking the vanilla Tek Shield, and there was like 2,000, 2,500 damage, for example, floating up there. Whereas this time around, there's hardly any damage that you see getting done, at least in terms of like the floating damage. It's hardly any of it to be seen. It's as if the dinos don't seem to be aware of the shield, they're just kind of like bouncing off it. And that might well explain why it felt so much harder to do it using the vanilla Tek Shield versus the actual S Plus one. It's as if the devs have... I know they've kind of like separated the generator from the shield, because with a vanilla Tek Shield, I think it may be called a Tek Force Field or something, but with that particular vanilla one, if the shield gets destroyed, so does the generator. With S Plus, the 2 are independent. If the shield gets destroyed, the generator doesn't. It can regenerate the shield after a certain amount of time. I mean, you are at the disadvantage if the shield were to get destroyed, you're kind of like stuck, because you're going to have to wait for it to regenerate, and you can't put another one down. But when I went through that Red Orbital Supply Drop run there, it just went so much easier. I didn't see that much damage getting done anyway, and over time, I didn't count exactly how long, but maybe it's 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, it then regenerates itself anyway and gets its health back. So it does seem pretty OP, I must admit, in comparison to the vanilla one. So you can still do it with a vanilla one, you're just going to have to go through several of them, maybe. I mean, not necessarily one every round. I think I did it with about 3, but it's pretty pricey, whereas this is like a one-off build. You just build it and that's it. You don't seem to need any more than that. But it's, yeah, definitely OP, I think. Anywho, I need to get my attention back onto the Titans by the looks of it. And that's all for another episode.